It's my pleasure to be here. I also want to acknowledge Dave Rambler from Fair Share Housing and all the folks that are here from the NAACP who have been our partners in gaining whatever knowledge we can gain in terms of learning about the housing situation and the tools that we need to be able to fight and to be able to get the situation addressed. And the lack of information that people have talked about here is epidemic. Let me tell you a little about what we do know in terms of the general view of the housing situation, which came from Enterprise doing a study with the Furman Center. Said that in New Jersey, 40% of folks that register for FEMA earn below $30,000 a year, which is incredible when you think about it. In New Jersey, to be living on $30,000 a year means that you are what's considered very low income. And so what we see right away is that the overwhelming number of people who are affected by this storm are people with little needs. That's especially true amongst folks that are renters. So amongst the renter population, 2/3 of the renters that were affected by the storm earned under $30,000 a year. Renters, as one might expect, are more people of color than homeowners. So homeowner population is 82% white, 8% Afro-American, 8% Latino. With the renter population, it's 56% white, and then about a quarter black and Latino, 23%, 25%. So we see the disparity in terms of who is affected by the storm. Yet when Department of Community Affairs in New Jersey put together its plan to HUD to be able to get those dollars from the federal government that Congress allocated, the first tranche of those dollars was $1.8 billion to address New Jersey's needs. We saw that the plan that New Jersey put together, only 25%, only a quarter of the funds they were asking for were for renters, and 3/4 were for homeowners. Through our advocacy, we were able to get that changed a little bit to get 1/3 of the funds for renters, but still not nearly enough. And then what we've seen subsequently is that those dollars that have come to New Jersey have not addressed the needs of lower income people, have not addressed the needs of people of color. So what we see is that renters have only got 15% as far as we know. And again, information is key here. And so as far as we know, renters have only got 15% of those dollars that were supposed to be going to renters. So first you have the disparity of not enough money going to address renter needs, and now even of those dollars that go to renter needs, only 15% were actually spent. Those were spent on developing of rental housing that we will not see for another couple of years. So there's been no dollars to address the immediate needs of renters to be able to have a home in which they can live. So programs like and you know, just going to go over what some of these things are. There's a program called the Incentives for Landlords and Small Renter Program, which $110 million was supposed to go to. As far as we know, no money's been allocated to that, and that was supposed to be money for a apartment owner complex to be able to have rental units that people can afford, to have subsidized rental units. And then what we've seen subsequently, as people know, is that the demand on rental housing has increased because, one, we have less rental housing. Two, we have many homeowners who, while waiting for their home to be restored, have become renters. So you have an additional demand for rental housing, a decreasing supply, and that means that cost for rental housing has increased sometimes by double of what it was pre-Sandy. and I'm being corrected even more than that. So that folks who even have there's a limited amount of what's called housing vouchers, which is a voucher that you get from the federal government that you can take to a landlord, in which you only have to pay 30% of your income for rent. People are finding it hard to be able to use those housing vouchers because of the high cost of rental housing. And we even see ads out there that are blatantly discriminating against people with rental vouchers. And that's something we should talk about further, because it's something a group like this can try to lean on the state government. And it's because of let's be clear, it's because of the governor we have that we don't have that kind of enforcement that we've had in past years against landlords who discriminate against people with housing vouchers, because it is blatantly illegal according to New Jersey law. So, what needs to happen is really an amendment to that federal plan to work together with nonprofits, with public housing authorities, to really be able to get people that need housing immediately into housing. And we have no idea how many people have left the state, have left the area which was their home, and are now living somewhere else. The one area, like I said, in which rental housing has been addressed, dollars have gotten out, is it's called the Fund for the Restoration of Multifamily Housing. So this was using the low-income housing tax credit program to be able to get dollars out to developers to develop new rental housing, which is a positive thing, except that the demand was much greater than the dollars that are there, so we have to put a lot more money in that program to address that demand. And in terms of where that housing was being built, only 50% of the funds for family housing allocated through the program have been outside areas of racial segregation, which falls short of what it should be. The public housing is the housing that people of lowest income live in areas like Carteret, Atlantic City. We've lost units. We had places like Jersey City in which infrastructure was severely damaged, yet $0 have gone from the federal money that came to the state to address the needs of public housing, because they put together a program that even public housing authorities, with all their knowledge of bureaucracy, and I can imagine what individuals go through, could not navigate. Again, through our advocacy, just last week there was a meeting with HUD and Department of Community Affairs with those housing authorities, so hopefully they'll come up with something better. But again, not a penny yet has gone to address those needs of public housing. In terms of homeowners, in terms of homeowners who are low income have not received the same kind of funding proportionate that higher income homeowners have received. So only 41%, rather than the promised 60% of resettlement grants have gone to lower moderate income families, according to data that New Jersey Spotlight got from the Department of Community Affairs. In terms of what's called the REM grants, which is $150,000 to be able to help a homeowner. We saw that there are lower rates of acceptance in heavily Latino areas, and so it's strikingly low in heavily Latino areas like Bergen and Hudson County have got a lot less help than in other areas. And that's again very, very significant. The other issue is that people have been rejected from that program. Homeowners have been waitlisted from that program and are not being told why. What are the reasons? They get this letter in which it gives some reasons and then say, and basically anything else. And if you want, you can look at the website. And the website doesn't tell you anything either. So with Fair Share Housing, the state is being sued to try to get some of that information so people can know why are they being rejected, what did they do wrong, what do they have to do. If you live in a manufactured home, you cannot get access to either the resettlement or the REM grants. And that's particularly, so for example, 51% of low and moderate income homeowners in Moonachie were turned down for that grant, while only 24% of non-low and moderate income homeowners in Moonachie. And we see that there's a lot of manufactured housing in Moonachie and Bergen County, as well as in parts of Ocean and Monmouth County. And that potentially is a good way to be able to house people, but yet they can't benefit from those programs. In terms of, there's $25 million that was supposed to help people with special needs, and because the government put together, Housing Mortgage Finance Agency put together a program in which there is no dollars for housing vouchers and there's no dollars for services, which is by definition what people with special needs need. The only folks that can benefit from the special needs program is folks with severely developmentally damaged, because they have both services and vouchers from the results of a lawsuit called the Olmstead lawsuit. And so the majority of people with special needs are not being addressed by the special needs program. So what's important here is there's another $2 billion that's supposed to be coming to New Jersey, working with Fair Share, NAACP. We're demanding public hearings on these dollars. We didn't have public hearings with the first tranche of dollars. There needs to be a clear process. HUD needs to get DCA to give answers to all these questions of transparency, where dollars go, what programs worked, what programs didn't work, before they give New Jersey any more money. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and this is a critical time for us all to be very involved in making demands, because there's $2 billion that New Jersey wants to get. And that gives us leverage in that process if we're working together strategically and effectively. Thank you.